Baseball in the Boroughs is brought to you by Verizon. With my plan, get exactly what you want and only pay for what you need. Man, it's going to be a weird first round of the Subway Series this season. Aaron Judge is out, Polar Bear Pete's out, but come on, y'all, it's New York. There's always storylines. Andy Martino covers the Yankees and Mets for SNY, and he's here to break down and talk about the series. And we got to start with this fantasy lineup you got going on here, Andy. The Yankees roster. Now, it's your ideal lineup of players from both of the teams combined. The Mets have the worst record, but you've got the most players from their team on your roster. Can you make sense of that for us?
Good question, Brandon. Look, yeah, it's just something I do every year with the Subway Series. It's fun. I'm going through it, looking why there's so many Mets on it, and it's a fair question. We had to go with the entire Met outfield because of the injuries to the Yankee outfield. Obviously, Aaron Judge would be in right field. I'm sure even Starling Marte would tell you that if Judge were active. But I tell you what, I love Harrison Bader, but I'd still have Nimmo over Bader in center if Bader were healthy. And the Yankees have struggled to figure out the left field situation all year, and Canha's been up and down, but Canha'd still be the guy there. So that explains it. The other positions where you could have gone a Yankee over a Met, and it was a tough call, was second base. Ultimately, I put McNeil over Gleyber Torres. I just think he's not doing it right now. He's not finding that success this year. We're talking about a batting champion and just an all-around terrific contact hitter and ball player with his versatility. Love Gleyber as a player, but went with McNeil. And then at third, Beatty and DJ LeMahieu was actually a tough call. Ultimately, Beatty's hitting the ball harder, and that was the tiebreaker for me, even though both really haven't been producing lately. So there you go.
I know Amazins will love that fantasy lineup. And you said if healthy. That should kind of be the slogan for this series. I mean, some of the biggest names of this series is out. But what are some of the storylines that you're looking forward to and have an eye on for these next two games?
Brandon, I get that there's a lack of juice that comes with Judge and Pete Alonso being out. But having said that, I feel like there isn't enough attention on the pitching matchups. Are unbelievable. You have Severino, Scherzer, and then you have Verlander, Cole, the two former Astros teammates. You have two, possibly three future Hall of Fame pitchers pitching over the next 2 days. And Severino is an all-star, no slouch himself. So, yeah, I get that the two big boys aren't there in the lineups, but these have got to be some of the best pitching matchups you've ever seen in a Subway Series. And that is worthy of a lot more hype and excitement than it's receiving. So I'm interested in that. And then if you want to get a little more baseball nerdy, other than storylines, when you look at Severino in particular, his fastball was really lacking life in his last start out for the Yankees. A little bit of a concern. He said he didn't know what was happening. He didn't know why he wasn't himself. He's given up 6 home runs in his past 2 starts combined. So for the Yankees' sake, looking to see if Severino has anything more on his pitches than he had the last couple times out, I think is really important for them. So that, in terms of technically what I'm looking forward to watching from Severino, and just, again, the star-studded pitching matchups, awesome to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm lacking on the nerdy side when it comes to baseball, but when you name the pitchers that will be dueling it out, I heard cha-ching. I heard a lot of money on the mound. So people are going to be locked in for that. Now let's talk about, there's a lack of juice, like you said, but the Mets could really use some juice with these next 2 games over the Yankees to spark some momentum. So I know New York is without Aaron Judge, but how do you see these games going?
Look, obviously, these are the most difficult things to predict the result of an individual baseball game. Baseball's a sport. Unlike basketball or even on some days football, the worst team can beat the best team. So it'd be arrogant to make many predictions. Having said that, I will go with the fact that I think that Scherzer and Verlander look a little bit better, have looked a little bit better than the results have suggested. Scherzer had some of his best stuff of the season. Last time out, he just stayed in the game a little long. Verlander was coming off a really long outing. Who knows if that had an impact? Obviously, these are 2 guys who have been very up and down, but it would not surprise me to see both Scherzer and Verlander pitch well, perhaps better than Met fans have become accustomed to expecting this year.
In football, you got any given Sunday. In MLB, you got any given any day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the translation I got from that. Hey, Andy, that was fun. Thanks for joining us, my man.
All right, anytime, Brandon.